What's going on, guys? MrDalekJD here. We're only a month away from Black Ops Cold War releasing, but with the beta, Treyarch has already started littering the game with Easter eggs. In this video, we're going to be going over brand new Easter eggs that were not in the alpha, and these are really big. We've got stuff with Nuketown, we've got stuff with Raul Menendez, we've got transit. There is a lot of things in this video. It's definitely worth sticking around to the end of the video so you don't miss out on anything. And as we dive in, I'd love to know your thoughts on these Easter eggs and your thoughts on the beta in general. Huge thank you to my sponsor, Elgato, for sponsoring the channel. If you want to check out any of their products and capturing content for Black Ops Cold War or next-gen consoles, I've got a link in the description. Kicking things off, this is a huge one, and this is the return of Raul Menendez in Black Ops Cold War. Jumping into the new multiplayer map, Cartel, this map is set in the jungles of Nicaragua, where we will storm a remote cartel compound where a known Perseus associate has been operating in the shadows. And this associate is none other than the best villain in Call of Duty history, Raul Menendez from Black Ops 2. Now, you might just shrug this off as just a fun little callback Easter egg, but combining everything I'm going to talk about today builds a much larger, more significant picture of relevant lore tying multiplayer into campaign, as well as linking this game between Black Ops 1 and 2 through multiplayer. On one side of the map is a house which the game literally calls the Menendez house, and inside of here is absolutely littered with Easter eggs and backstory to Raul Menendez. Now, the most shocking thing is that there is a dead body on the bed and a photograph of Raul Menendez's sister, Josefina. Now, we'll get onto who that body is in a moment, but looking more around the room, we can see a photograph of Josefina, which is identical to what we see in the Black Ops 2 mission, which we'll go to in a moment too, because the comparisons between these locations are absolutely incredible. There on the walls, a portrait of the man of the hour, Raul Menendez himself, straight out of Black Ops 2. So you're wondering probably whose house is this, and this is his father's house, Jose Luis Menendez. You can also see this TV, which is constantly flashing this sort of emblem of a handprint with a love heart on the palm of it, which to me looks like the logo for the actual cartel. But the biggest Easter eggs is this newspaper and then a handwritten note. Newspaper headline says Jose Luis Menendez, the hero of the town. Now, all of this is extremely exciting because if it's not clicked already, this is linking Black Ops 2 campaign narrative towards Cold War multiplayer. Looking at the letter, it says, to Jose Luis Menendez, I understand the US is holding an ally of yours. We can secure his release if you agree to us utilizing your global shipping and distribution trade routes. I have precious cargo that cannot be disturbed. As goodwill, I know that your friend is scheduled for a prison transport next year passing through Miami. Regards, Stitch. Now, if we go back to the newspaper, look carefully at the image, that is a picture of Menendez's dad. And now if we compare that image to the body that's dead on the bed, the faces are identical. This is Raul Menendez's dad dead on the bed holding a photo of Josefina. Now, the funny thing is there is already a game that exists between Black Ops 1 and 2 before Cold War, and that's called Black Ops Declassified on the PlayStation Vita. In the final mission on that game, you chase down and shoot who you think is Raul Menendez, but in fact, you kill his father. He proper falls off a balcony and dies, but yet in here, he's died on his bed. So it seems like Treyarch are trying to rewrite history, but very fascinatingly, the map Cartel and that mission take place on the exact same day, May 21st, 1982 in Nicaragua. So the narrative team are definitely paying attention to this sort of stuff, but it's interesting that they're rewriting their previous history. What is fascinating is this map Cartel takes place in Nicaragua in practically the exact same location as the Black Ops 2 mission Time and Fate, where Mason, Hudson, and Woods raid Menendez's mansion and kills his sister, Josefina. The fact we're getting to revisit this area, playing in multiplayer and having these narrative Easter eggs is so fascinating to me, even down to the details in how Woods' character looks in Cold War, with his outfit and look being almost identical to the way he looked in this mission in Black Ops 2, aside from the war paint on his face. It's amazing attention to detail, and confirms we are going to be seeing Raul Menendez within this game, as he is a known associate of Perseus, who's the main villain in the Cold War campaign. I bet you're probably thinking, John, if 4 minutes in you've not spoken about Nuketown, what the heck is going on? Well, if we come towards the hangar and go to the back of the hangar, in one of these rooms, you can see that there is a photograph attached to a board which shows a photo of Nuketown. This is our first look at Nuketown in Black Ops Cold War, and you'll be very surprised to see that we're not going to be looking at a reimagined version of Nuketown again for the third, fourth time in a row, but no, this is actually the original Nuketown from Black Ops 1, stayed to its original look. It looks no different. and this pretty much confirms that we are going to be seeing Nuketown in Black Ops Cold War. I mean, it was a given that we'd see it, but the fact that it's going to be staying very true to the original, just probably next-genified and looking so much better than the original Black Ops 1, I think that's really exciting because I think a lot of people just prefer the original Nuketown. They don't really like the futuristic remakes and the changes that they've done to it over the years. They just want good, clean, simple Nuketown, and I think that's what we're getting. This next Easter egg is a really interesting one, and I definitely think I could be pulling at strings here, but the model of vehicle is exactly the same, and this is a very specific truck from Transit is on the map Cartel. If we come to this part of the map here, we are looking at a reimagined version of the truck, which you will see everywhere around Transit. If we jump to Transit, you can see that there is a few of these trucks laying around outside of the diner, but specifically in the farm area, you'll find this truck in the middle of the farm just sat there, and it is an identical model. Now, of course, they're probably just reusing models and assets from previous games and other maps, because why not? But as far as I'm aware, this has only ever been in Transit Zombies. It's not been in any other Zombies map or any other multiplayer map. So if the rumors about a Transit remake are true for Black Ops Cold War, this could be one of the very first parts of it actually put into a multiplayer map. Truck model is identical. There is no arguing against that. But of course, it is a very far stretch to say that this is from a Transit remake from Cold War, but it is very cool to point out. And right in front of this truck, if we go into this garage, you can actually find a old school Activision arcade machine. And this is the second machine inside of the multiplayer maps. We found one on Miami, and now there's one on Cartel. This one is of a 1980s Activision game called Grand Prix. Just looking at the way that the cabinet is designed, this looks really, really cool. And there's a big theme with 1980s games, like, you know, the pawn takes pawn Easter egg involved multiple 1980s game throwbacks, and we've got them in the game as well. Some other cool funny Easter eggs is on Cartel. There's also the safe, which is from Voyage of Despair. It's the exact same safe that you put the little thing on it to open. There's also a load of telephones that will ring at random around the map, and I've tried to answer them, but I don't think you can. And keeping with the Menendez theme, there's also tons of propaganda posters for Raul Menendez, and at the watchtower, there is a poster in Spanish which says that the Menendez cartel is always watching. That's all we've got for Easter eggs in the Black Ops Cold War beta for now, but with next week being the Xbox and PC beta as well, that's going to open up Fireteam, which is a 40-player mode on huge maps, which is bound to be littered with Easter eggs across the board, which I'm really excited to check out. What's really interesting as well is a bunch of Zombies Easter eggs, like the Richtofen doll on Moscow, has been completely removed from the beta, and I don't know why. But I'm sure when the big maps turn up next week, there is going to be so many Easter eggs to cover, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you stay up to date with the latest on Black Ops Cold War, be it zombies, be it Easter eggs in the beta, or just coverage in general. We got it all here, so be sure to subscribe, turn on the bell, drop a like rating if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you for another one very, very soon. Bye, guys.